Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to create lootable dead bodies for Smart AI in Survival Game Kit v2. So before following this video, make sure that you have followed the integration video for Survival Game Kit v2 with Smart AI. If you haven't, I'll put a link to it in the description. You must follow that before following this video. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to add storage to an AI that we can access once they're dead. We'll be able to take items from their inventory and all of that. I won't be showing you how to have like harvestable dead bodies in this video, where you can hit the dead body and get items. I will have a separate video for that later on. This is just about adding storage to the AI that we can loot once they're dead. So to get started, we're going to go to our master, actually we'll go to Smart AI Blueprints, and then we're going to go AI, and we'll go AI Components, Master AI Character, and open that up. And once you're in here, we're going to go to Class Settings, and we're going to add a new interface. We'll search for Interaction Interface, and we'll add that. Then compile quickly. Once that's done, we can go to interfaces, and then we should have an interaction category here. We'll click the drop down, and first we're going to start off with allow interaction, so we'll open that up. We're going to get our AI component, we'll drag out and do is valid, and we'll connect this up like this. And then from our AI component, we want to get dead, and we want to get this variable, and we'll connect this into our return node here. So we're basically just saying that the AI can only be interacted with if the AI is dead. Then we can compile and save this. Next, we're going to go to possible actions. We'll make sure we tick actions found. You must make sure this is ticked, otherwise this won't work correctly. From here, we're going to drag out and do make array, and then drag out again, and we'll do make world action. And for this, we're just going to set the world action to interact, and we'll set the action name to loot. This is basically when you look at an actor, you get the little menu where you can select what options you want to do. These are the options that will be available, and then loot will be the actual UI name that you'll see as the player. You can set this to whatever you like. I'm just going to go with loot. So that's all okay. Next, we're going to go to interact name. Now again, you can set this to what you like. When you look at an actor, you get the sort of name of the actor or what it is above the crosshair. This is the name that will be there. So I'm just going to put I'll just put dead AI. Again, you can set it to however you like. Next, we're going to go to first we'll compile and save. Next, we're actually going to add our master inventory component. So we'll go to components and we'll search for master inventory. BP master inventory. So we'll add that and compile again. Next, we're going to go to the SGK interact. And in here, we're going to add a few things. So the first thing we'll do is we'll drag out and do an is valid. Then we're going to do drag out, and we will do server open ext imv or external inventory like that. And we'll connect it up to the end here, and we'll tick the return value. Then we're going to get our master inventory and connect this up to here. Then we can compile and save again. Next, we're actually going to set our AI's inventory up. So we'll select the master inventory and go to inventory details. Now, I have a separate video about container items as well as other documentation on how to set this up. So I'm not going to go too much into detail with this, but we'll start. We want to make sure can contain items is true. Container name, this is the name that's shown when we open up the inventory. So I'm just going to put this as dead AI. You can set this to whatever you like. Container inventory cells, this is the number of slots we'll have. I'm just going to leave this as 20, and columns is the number of slots wide the inventory is. I'm just going to leave this as 8. We have use weight and max weight. I'm actually going to untick this just for the sake of this video. You can leave yours on if you like, but I'm just going to leave mine ticked off. Container restrictions, basically is whether or not certain items can be added or removed to this inventory. Again, there's more info about this in the container items video, so you can go and watch that for more info there. Container type needs to stay as container. You can use the item limit count. This basically limits the number of items that can be in this in the AI's inventory, but I'm going to leave this as is. And then lastly, starting items. You may want to use this because you may want your AI to always have, say, some meat on them or some money or whatever else you like. So you can use starting items. We'll add a starting item actually for the sake of this video. The data table needs to be master item list, and then I'll set the row name. We'll choose where is it? Raw meat. So now our AI inventory will start with one raw meat in there. So now we can compile and save this. There's also the random item spawning settings down here. I do have a separate video that goes over all of these in detail. Basically, you can set it up so that the AI randomly has items in their inventory. To do this, the settings I recommend is this setting must be ticked on for any items to be spawned, but I recommend using spawn items on start, always spawn items, and probably clear inventory when items spawn, and then this way when our AI starts the game, he'll randomly spawn some items, and then our player will be able to access those once they kill the AI. Again, I have a video on the loot spawning, but basically you can set what types of items you want the AI to be able to spawn with, and you can set those up in here. So I'm going to leave it as this, so our AI we can actually remove the starting items. I'm just going to leave mine as random. So our AI will now randomly spawn items, and then we can compile and save this. So now that we've set all of that up, we want to go over to our AI component. So we'll go to Smart AI, Blueprints, AI, Components, then to Smart AI Component. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to make it so that when our AI dies and respawns, we want his items to be randomly generated again, or his starting items to be added again, so that when our player kills him again, we can loot new items. So for that, we're going to go to the you see here, the death and respawn event, and we're going to find the server respawn event here. So next we're going to right click and do get AI character, and from that we're going to do is valid, and we're just going to connect this up from the stop despawn timer like this, and I'm going to try and make a bit of space. So from that we're going to drag out and do get component by class. We'll set the class to BP underscore master inventory. From that we're going to do another is valid. Connect that to the is valid pin on the first one. The is not valid we'll just connect up down here, and the same with the second one. And the master inventory we'll drag out and we'll do spawn items, and we'll also drag out from that and do add starting items. Now I'm going to do add starting items first, and then we'll run spawn items, and we'll connect that up like that. And then next we're going to go over to this section here, the multicast AI dead, and we're actually just going to copy these nodes here, take them up to the multicast despawn body, paste them in here, and we're going to delete the dead AI mesh collision variable, and we're going to just copy the dead AI capsule collision from down here and paste that in. So it's important that is the dead AI capsule collision, not the dead AI mesh one. Then we can just plug that in like this, and we're all good. So we can compile and save this now. So once that's done, we're ready to quickly test this out. I'm just going to put together a very quick example. I'm just going to drag in a spawn point, I'm going to set the spawn AI to the zombie, like that, and I will enable respawning. I'll set the timer to say 12 seconds, so we have some time to loot our zombie. I'm just going to hit play and pick up a gun so we can actually kill him. This might be an issue you may have. If we actually go to the AI spawn point, you may have already done this when following the integration video, but if not, it's worth double checking. Go to your AI spawn point, click on the proximity activation sphere, and make sure that interaction is set to ignore, grid is set to ignore, and all of these other ones are set to ignore in the collision. The only thing that shouldn't be set to ignore is pawn. It should be set to overlap, and then do exactly the same thing for the deactivation sphere as well. Hopefully yours will already be like this, but if not, it's worth checking. And then do exactly the same thing in the AI spawning volume as well, just to make sure you don't have the problem I just had. So I'll hit play and I should be able to pick up my weapon again. We've got our AI spawning, so I'm just gonna kill him, and we can loot his dead body. We've got some items that we can pick up, and if we wait, his body's now gone. We'll wait for the respawn quickly, and now he's back. We'll kill him again, loot him, and you can see we've got new items here that we can loot. I can't actually loot them because I don't have any backpack space, but you see everything is working as it should do. So that's pretty much it for this video. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. There is actually one other thing I wanted to show you. If you say wanted to have different settings for different AI characters, we can go to the examples and say you wanted a different setting for the citizen. We can open that up, open full blueprint editor, and we can actually select our master inventory here, and we've got all of our settings that we set earlier, so our inventory settings and our spawning settings. So you could have it so that zombies spawn certain types of loot, and civilians could spawn other loot, or you could set different inventory sizes. There's a lot of different things you can do. Again, if you don't know much about the item spawning, I have a separate video on that where I go into detail about these settings, so you can get a better idea of how those work. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching.